Perseus's journey begins with a prophecy that changes everything. King Acrisius of Argos feared the words of the oracle. The prophecy foretold that his own grandson would one day kill him. Determined to prevent this fate, Acrisius locked away his daughter, Danae, in a high, sealed tower. But the gods had other plans for Danae. Zeus, the king of the gods, was captivated by her beauty and resilience. To reach her, he transformed himself into a shower of golden rain, gently seeping through the walls of her prison. From this divine union, Perseus was born. His birth was nothing short of miraculous, blending mortal and divine heritage. Perseus grew up with his mother, Danae, sharing a close and loving bond. Their life together was simple, yet filled with love. They lived modestly, always mindful of King Acrisius's attempts to change his destiny. As Perseus grew older, his bravery and kindness became evident. Together, they faced the dangers that threatened their lives, ensuring that Perseus would survive to fulfill his destiny. As Perseus and Danae settled into their life together, a new chapter was about to unfold on a distant island. Far across the sea lay the island of Seriphos, a place of sunlit shores and bustling markets. This island was ruled by the cunning king Polydectes, a man known for his charm and deceit. Polydectes enjoyed a life of luxury, surrounded by wealth and power, but he harbored a secret desire that would soon set the stage for a dramatic turn of events. King Polydectes became infatuated with Danae, Perseus's brave and beautiful mother. Her grace and strength captivated him, and he longed to make her his queen. Determined to win her hand, Polydectes devised a plan that would ensure his success, no matter the cost. Knowing that Perseus was a loyal and protective son, Polydectes saw him as an obstacle to his desires. He needed a way to separate Danae from her son without arousing suspicion. After much deliberation, Polydectes conceived a devious scheme. He would send Perseus on an impossible quest, one that would likely cost him his life. Polydectes called upon the island's finest warriors and declared that he sought a hero to undertake a perilous mission. The task was to slay Medusa, the fearsome Gorgon, whose deadly gaze could turn anyone to stone. Medusa was a creature of legend, her very existence a challenge to even the bravest of men. Polydectes knew that no one could succeed in such a daunting endeavor, especially Perseus, who was still young and inexperienced. He presented the quest as an honor, a chance for Perseus to prove his valor and earn great rewards. But in truth, Polydectes hoped that the mission would lead to Perseus's demise, freeing Danae for his own plans. The king masked his true intentions behind a veneer of respect and admiration, making the proposition seem both noble and irresistible. Perseus, unaware of Polydectes' hidden motives, felt a strong sense of duty to accept the challenge. He could not refuse such an important mission, especially one that promised to protect his mother and bring honor to their family. Determined to succeed, Perseus pledged to undertake the quest, not realizing the immense dangers that awaited him. With Perseus's acceptance, the wheels of fate began to turn. The day arrived when Perseus was to receive his daunting mission. The sun shone brightly over the island of Seriphos, casting long shadows across the bustling palace grounds. King Polydectes stood before his assembled court, his eyes gleaming with determination. He proclaimed loudly, "I seek a hero, brave enough to undertake a perilous journey. I demand the head of Medusa, the fearsome Gorgon, whose gaze turns all to stone." Gasps and murmurs rippled through the crowd. Medusa was a legend, a monster feared by all who heard her tale. Her very name sent shivers down the spines of even the bravest warriors. Polydectes continued, his voice unwavering, "Bring me Medusa's head, you shall be richly rewarded. Fail, and face the consequences." Perseus stepped forward, his heart pounding with a mix of fear and resolve. He looked at his mother, Danae, and felt a surge of determination. Protecting her and honoring his family's name meant everything to him. "I accept your challenge, King Polydectes," Perseus declared, his voice strong and steady. "I will slay Medusa and return with her head." Whispers spread through the court. Many doubted Perseus's chances. Medusa was no ordinary foe. Her serpentine hair writhed with venomous snakes, and her eyes held the power to turn anyone who met her gaze into stone. But Perseus was undeterred. He knew the path ahead was fraught with danger, yet his courage did not waver. His mission was clear, and he was determined to see it through, no matter the cost. With his acceptance, the weight of the quest settled upon his shoulders. Perseus knew that success would require not only bravery but also wisdom and strength. He felt a mixture of excitement and apprehension as he prepared to embark on this life-threatening journey. As the court buzzed with speculation about Perseus's chances, the young hero began to gather his thoughts. He understood that this quest would push him to his limits and beyond. Yet, he remained steadfast, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Perseus's resolve was unshakable. He was prepared to venture into the unknown, confront the deadly Medusa, and bring honor to his name and his mother's. The path was clear, and his mission was set. With his determination set, Perseus awaited the next steps that would lead him closer to his legendary adversary. The journey to slay Medusa was about to begin, and Perseus was ready to meet his destiny head-on. Every great hero needs allies, and Perseus was no exception. As he prepared to embark on his perilous quest, the gods themselves took notice of his bravery and determination. They decided to aid him with powerful gifts to ensure his success. Perseus first encountered Hermes, the swift messenger of the gods. Hermes recognized the young hero's courage and bestowed upon him a remarkable pair of winged sandals. These sandals granted Perseus the ability to fly through the air with incredible speed, allowing him to traverse vast distances in the blink of an eye. Along with the sandals, Hermes handed Perseus a magical sword, sharp enough to cut through the toughest of armor and strong enough to fell even the most fearsome of foes. With these gifts in hand, Perseus felt a surge of confidence. He knew that swift travel would be essential in reaching Medusa's lair, and that the magical sword would be a crucial tool in his battle against the Gorgon. Next, Perseus received assistance from Athena, the wise and strategic goddess of wisdom and war. Athena presented him with a polished shield, its surface so smooth and reflective that it could serve as a mirror. This shield was not just any ordinary piece of armor. It was designed to help Perseus view Medusa indirectly. By using the shield to catch Medusa's reflection, Perseus could avoid meeting her deadly gaze directly, ensuring his safety during the confrontation. Athena's shield was a symbol of wisdom and protection, providing Perseus with the means to approach Medusa without falling victim to her petrifying power. With this divine gift, Perseus was better equipped to navigate the dangers that lay ahead. In addition to the winged sandals, magical sword, and reflective shield, Perseus received two more invaluable tools from the gods. From Hades, the ruler of the underworld, Perseus was given the Helm of Darkness. This helmet rendered him invisible, allowing him to move unseen and giving him a strategic advantage over his enemies. Finally, Perseus was provided with a kibisis, a special bag crafted by the gods. This enchanted container was designed to safely carry Medusa's head after he successfully decapitated her. The kibisis ensured that the deadly power of Medusa's gaze would remain contained, preventing anyone from being turned to stone by her severed head. With these divine gifts, Perseus was fully prepared for his daunting mission. The combination of speed, protection, invisibility, and a secure means to transport Medusa's head made him a formidable hero, ready to face the legendary Gorgon. With everything in place, he was now ready to embark on the next phase of his journey, seeking out the Graeae, the three sisters who held the key to finding Medusa's lair. Perseus knew that finding Medusa was only part of the challenge. He still needed crucial information to locate her lair. His next step was to seek out the Graeae, three ancient sisters who held the secrets he needed. Perseus set out on his journey, the winged sandals propelling him swiftly through the sky. He traveled across rugged mountains and deep forests, guided by the whispers of the wind. After days of searching, he arrived at a desolate and eerie place where the Graeae resided. As Perseus approached the lair of the Graeae, he felt a chill in the air. The three sisters, Enyo, Pemphredo, and Dano, were known for their shared single eye and one tooth, which they passed among themselves. Their appearance was eerie, with long, tangled hair and a presence that sent shivers down Perseus's spine. The Graeae were not like any other beings Perseus had encountered. Determined to obtain the information he needed, Perseus devised a clever plan. He approached the sisters with respect, understanding that their cooperation was essential for his quest. Perseus knew he had to act swiftly to gain their trust and secure the knowledge they possessed. With a strategic mind, Perseus waited for the right moment. With careful timing, Perseus waited until the Graeae were preoccupied with a conversation. When the sisters were distracted, he gently took the shared eye, holding it carefully in his hand. The Graeae were immediately alarmed, their voices rising in panic as they realized their loss. The sudden loss of sight caused the sisters to gasp in shock and panic. "Please, return our eye," Enyo cried, her voice trembling with fear. Perseus remained calm, holding the eye firmly in his hand. "Without your eye, you cannot see. Help me, and I will return it to you." Reluctantly, the Graeae agreed to reveal the information Perseus sought. Medusa's lair lies beyond the Whispering Mountains, guarded by shadows and darkness, Dano explained. With the Graeae's information in hand, Perseus felt a surge of confidence. He had successfully outwitted the sisters and secured the key to finding Medusa. Grateful for their assistance, he returned the eye to the Graeae, restoring their ability to see and speak. As Perseus prepared to continue his journey, he knew that the most perilous part of his quest was still ahead. Armed with the gifts and knowledge from the gods and the Graeae, he was now ready to face the formidable Medusa herself. With the winged sandals firmly strapped to his feet, he took to the skies, soaring swiftly above mountains and valleys. After days of relentless travel, Perseus reached the edge of the Whispering Mountains. Beyond lay the Silver Sea, a vast expanse of water that stretched as far as the eye could see. As Perseus approached the shores of Medusa's lair, the landscape grew even more forbidding. Jagged rocks and dense forests stood between him and his destination. The path was narrow and winding, with every step bringing new dangers. Perseus moved cautiously, his eyes scanning the surroundings for any signs of peril. Nightfall brought its own set of challenges. The darkness was thick and oppressive, making it difficult to see the path ahead. Perseus relied on his helmet of darkness, remaining invisible to any lurking threats. He pressed on, guided by the faint light of the moon reflecting off his shield. The final stretch of his journey led him through the Valley of Shadows, a place where the air was heavy with silence and the ground seemed to absorb all sound. As Perseus emerged from the Valley of Shadows, the entrance to Medusa's lair came into view. The air was thick with tension, and the ground seemed to pulse with an eerie energy. The entrance was guarded by two more Gorgons, sisters of Medusa, each with serpentine hair and eyes that seemed to shimmer with a deadly intent. The sight of them sent a chill down Perseus's spine, but he remained steadfast, knowing that his mission depended on his ability to overcome these formidable guardians. As Perseus moved deeper into the sanctuary, the atmosphere grew heavier. The walls were adorned with ancient carvings depicting the fearsome power of the Gorgons. Shadows danced ominously around him, creating an unsettling ambiance that heightened the tension of the impending confrontation. In the center of the sanctuary stood Medusa herself, her presence both terrifying and majestic. Her serpentine hair writhed with life, each snake hissing softly as it sensed Perseus's approach. Medusa's eyes, as feared as ever, glowed with a malevolent light, ready to turn any onlooker into stone. Perseus knew that facing Medusa directly would spell his doom. Instead, he reached for Athena's reflective shield, holding it firmly in his hands. The shield gleamed under the dim light, its surface smooth and flawless, perfect for what he needed to do next. Carefully, Perseus positioned the shield in front of him, angling it just right to catch Medusa's reflection. By using the shield as a mirror, he could see Medusa without meeting her gaze directly. This strategic move was crucial, as even a single glance from Medusa could turn him into a lifeless statue. As Perseus edged closer, the tension in the room became almost palpable. Every step he took was measured and deliberate, ensuring that his movements remained silent and precise. Medusa remained unaware of his presence, her focus fixed on the darkness surrounding her sanctuary. Suddenly, Medusa turned her head, her eyes scanning the room. Perseus froze, holding his breath as he saw her gaze meet the reflection in his shield. For a moment, time seemed to stand still as he held steady, his eyes never meeting hers directly. The suspense was unbearable, but Perseus maintained his composure, knowing that any mistake could be fatal. With a deep breath, Perseus steadied himself. He moved closer, positioning the shield to catch any last flickers of movement from Medusa. His eyes remained fixed on the reflection, ensuring he never met her deadly gaze directly. Every muscle in his body was tense, prepared for the final act of his quest. In one fluid motion, Perseus swung the sword with all his might. The blade sliced through the air, guided by his steady hand and unwavering focus. The precise strike found its mark, severing Medusa's head from her body with a swift, clean cut. The sound of the sword meeting flesh echoed through the sanctuary, marking the end of Medusa's reign of terror. Medusa's lifeless body collapsed to the ground, her serpentine hair lying still beside her. Perseus felt a surge of triumph and relief wash over him. The threat that had loomed over countless lives was finally vanquished. Without wasting a moment, Perseus reached into the cabesus, the enchanted bag gifted by the gods. He carefully lifted Medusa's severed head, ensuring that its petrifying power remained contained. The cabesus glowed faintly, its magic sealing the deadly gaze within its confines. Securing the head, Perseus felt the immense responsibility of his achievement. Perseus knew that his mission was nearing its successful conclusion, but there were still challenges ahead on his return journey. As he soared through the skies on his winged sandals, the landscape below him unfolded in breathtaking vistas of mountains, forests, and shimmering seas. However, destiny had another significant encounter waiting for him along the way. One bright morning, as Perseus navigated the clear blue skies, he spotted a coastline marred by turmoil. Dark clouds loomed ominously over a rocky shore where a young woman was chained to a towering cliff. Her beauty was undeniable, even in distress, with long, flowing hair cascading over her shoulders and a serene expression despite her predicament. Perseus descended gracefully, landing softly near the stranded figure. As he approached, he noticed the menacing presence of a colossal sea monster emerging from the churning waters below. The creature's scales shimmered with a sinister glow, and its eyes gleamed with malice as it prepared to strike. "Fear not," Perseus called out, his voice steady and reassuring. "I am here to help you." The woman looked up, her eyes wide with hope and gratitude. "Thank you," she whispered. "I am Andromeda. I have been left here as a sacrifice to appease this beast." Perseus approached the chains, his mind racing to find a solution. He knew that time was of the essence, and the sea monster was closing in with each passing second. Drawing upon the divine gifts he had received, Perseus reached into the cabesus and carefully retrieved Medusa's head. Without hesitation, Perseus tilted the cabesus, allowing Medusa's gaze to meet the sea monster's eyes. Holding the petrifying head high, Perseus faced the advancing monster. The creature roared, lunging towards him with razor-sharp claws and a maw filled with jagged teeth. The moment the monster looked upon Medusa's head, its form began to solidify. The once fluid movements of the creature slowed as its flesh turned to stone. With a final, agonizing roar, the sea monster was transformed into a lifeless statue, its threat forever neutralized. Andromeda watched in awe as the danger passed. Perseus quickly approached her, unchaining her from the rock with ease. "You are safe now," he assured her, helping her to her feet. "No harm will come to you." Grateful and relieved, Andromeda thanked Perseus for his bravery and swift action. Their eyes met and a bond formed between them, born from the shared experience of overcoming peril together. As the sun set on the horizon, casting a golden glow over the tranquil sea, Perseus and Andromeda prepared to continue their journey together. The path back to Seriphos was now filled with promise and hope, as he knew that he had not only completed his quest but also forged alliances that would last a lifetime. As Perseus approached the shores of Seriphos, the island welcomed him with the familiar sights of bustling markets and serene landscapes. However, beneath the surface, tension and fear lingered. Danae, Perseus's beloved mother, remained under the oppressive rule of Polydectes, who had grown increasingly tyrannical in his pursuit of her hand in marriage. As he made his way through the island, whispers of his heroic deeds began to spread among the townspeople. They had heard tales of his bravery and were hopeful for a resolution to their suffering. Finally, Perseus arrived at the palace, where King Polydectes awaited with a facade of graciousness. The king's court was gathered, watching with a mix of awe and apprehension as Perseus entered the grand hall. Polydectes, ever the schemer, greeted him with a deceptive smile. "Welcome back, Perseus," Polydectes intoned smoothly. "You have returned victorious. Your bravery is commendable." Perseus's eyes narrowed, sensing the underlying tension. He knew that Polydectes' compliments were nothing more than a prelude to confrontation. With determination burning in his heart, Perseus drew the reflective shield and the magical sword, symbols of his divine assistance and hard-fought journey. In a swift and calculated motion, Perseus revealed Medusa's head from the cabesus. The room fell silent as the petrifying gaze of the Gorgon's head met the eyes of King Polydectes and his courtiers. One by one, the deceitful king and his entourage were turned to stone, their expressions frozen in shock and fear. The transformation was immediate and absolute. Polydectes, once a man of charm and deceit, stood as a lifeless statue, his ambitions forever halted. The courtiers who had once cowered under his rule were now silent sentinels, their fate sealed by Medusa's deadly power. With Polydectes and his court turned to stone, the oppressive atmosphere that had plagued Seriphos was lifted. The townspeople, witnessing the miraculous turn of events, erupted in cheers and celebrations. Perseus had not only fulfilled his quest, but had also liberated his mother from a life of fear and subjugation. Danae stepped forward, her eyes filled with gratitude and pride. She embraced Perseus, her heart swelling with relief and joy. The bond between mother and son had been tested and strengthened through their trials, proving that their love and resilience were unbreakable. As the celebrations continued, Perseus knew that his journey was far from over. With Medusa's head as a powerful artifact and Andromeda by his side, new adventures awaited him. But for now, Seriphos basked in the glory of his triumph, honoring Perseus as a true hero of myth and legend. As time passed, Perseus's name became etched in the annals of history. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Mythos and Mankind for more captivating stories of mythology and history.